Tigers, they are all in on 2026. We got to come up with some sort of nickname for this season because we can't just rip off The Last Dance. We can't just call it the all-in season. It's got to be something, though, because it does feel like Chris Ilitch and Scott Harris have all but said this is the year. Like, if it's not going to happen this year, it might not happen ever because we're not paying Tarik Skubal. Because to me, as much as I like the Framber Valdez signing, it's an apparent succession plan to Tarik Skubal. Well, they bring in another lefty, maybe the second best lefty in the American League, on a 3-year deal. Yeah, Skubal's gone, and this is going to be the ace next season. And to be quite honest, it's a good succession plan as much as I don't like to say, as much as I'm not just content with there being a succession plan and letting Tarik Skubal walk. If it's going to happen, which it feels like it's more apparent now than ever that it's going to happen, it's a good succession plan nonetheless, but this is the only year you're going to have Skubal and Valdez. This is the only year you're going to have Skubal, Valdez, and Justin Verlander. This is like a whole reunion. We got to come up with some sort of nickname for this season.
The last grit, maybe. I'm trying to involve something with the gritty Tigers because that's the thing. This is still going to be the gritty Tigers. Like, they haven't added any offense,
Right.
All their moves have been pitching, which I think is fine. Like, I'm cool with it because you kind of see what worked in the playoffs for a lot of these teams. Seattle's pitching was so good. That's what got them far. Toronto's pitching was great. Like, obviously their offenses were better than Detroit's as well, but I kind of like the fact that they're leaning into the pitching aspect of things. So,
and you look at their closers too, between Vest,
like, we're forgetting they added Kenley Jansen, man.
And Jansen
was a great add, exactly. So, like, this, I know that we kind of have brought it up a couple of times about, like, yeah, it is the last dance. It's the last, time we're going to have Skubal out there, and we have Justin Verlander. It's a cool thing. I want to go to as many games as I can, especially when those guys are pitching, because, like you said, we're not going to have it next year. But also, I don't want to focus on, like, this is the last year of Skubal. I want to focus on, like, the Tigers have a really good chance to go to the World Series this year. Like, that's the part that I want to focus on. They are a top 10 payroll in baseball.
Yeah.
That is something we've been clamoring for.
Mm-hmm.
They are just killing the rest of their division in payroll. Yeah, it's not that hard to do, but this is the highest payroll in Tigers history.
No, but this is the first time that they've ignored, like, the competition in the AL Central, because typically it's like, well, look, like, oh, we're spending more than everybody else when the bar is so low.
Right.
Now they're like, no, we're going to spend with the other teams that are competing to
we're
win
going to
an
spend with
American League.
Seattle. We're going to spend near as much as Toronto is. Boston doesn't spend that much as they used to. We're going to spend as much as they are. Like, I think that, and to your point that we brought up in the previous segment about, like, well, yeah, maybe this hurts Troy Melton a little bit. Yeah, but isn't that kind of what the old regime is all? That's what we used to complain about.
Like, add as much talent as possible, figure it out later.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, sure. Does this make Troy Melton not a full-time starter? It probably does. But at the end of the day, that's what Scott Harris would have done. Oh, one of our starters
He was pretty damn good at his job as the in-between guy last year.
That's what I'm saying. And, like, Reese Olson gets hurt, Jackson Job is hurt. The old issue resolved to that would have been, okay, well, Troy Melton and another guy from the minor leagues, welcome to the starting rotation. Kiter Montero, welcome to the starting rotation. No, he didn't have to go sign Framber Valdez. Yeah, Verlander, sure, that's for the story thing. Verlander's also going to be a key part of this rotation as well. So, like, I just want to, at least for one point here, acknowledge what a great job this front office has done, because 95% of talk we have about Scott Harris and Chris Ilitch is negative. And this is a positive thing.
95% of the offseason, they hadn't done anything. Like, I think it was totally fair criticism
of
because
course.
Up until the last week, before they signed Valdez and before they signed Verlander, the only real addition they made to this team was Kenley Jansen. So, of course, we are going to be upset about it. Like, I'm not going to take back that apology that
I agree.
That I was attacking Scott Harris. But it did feel like something. I don't know if it was the Reese Olson shoulder surgery that ended up happening. I think it was February 2nd or something else. But something happened to where Chris Ilitch and Scott Harris looked at each other and said, screw it, man. We're opening up the wallets, and we're going to win the World Series this year.
We wanted it to be an all-in type of offseason. It only took them till, the day before spring training started to, like, finally commit to the all-in thing. Like you said, I mean, just what an odd offseason this was for Detroit. Nothing happens for months. And then, obviously, in the last 2 weeks, we've had just so many different events occur.
So it still feels like the Yankees are favored to win the American League. Seattle is second. Toronto's third, Boston's fourth. Tigers are still listed as fifth. I think that's always just going to be the case, though, with a team that's got a better rotation and bullpen than a team that just has the superstar bats, because Vegas also has to protect themselves. Like, they know the Yankees are going to get a ton of bats on them.
People are going to bet on those teams, too.
Yeah, I think the Tigers aren't the sexy pick to go to the World Series, but like you look at their rotation in their bullpen, in the guys that they potentially have like relieving them. It's going to be really tough to beat this team in a 4-game series.
And compared to those other teams as well in the American League, the one thing that you have to give the Tigers better odds for is that they are all but a guarantee to win their division. You cannot say that about those others. I mean, you just named 3 AL East teams right there,
Yes.
you know, like, and then obviously Seattle in the West. Like, yeah, Seattle's kind of lined up to win the West, but you never know how good. Like,
Houston's always around.
and like low key, the A's might have a good year this year. So like you're looking at all those teams. The Tigers, yeah, I get that they blew the biggest division lead ever last year. Whatever. They should
Hopefully
be,
that was a wake up call.
They should be the biggest favorites a team has ever been to win a division this year. Like it should truly be that. Kansas City will be good for sure.
I got bad news for you. They have this. Oh no, I'm sorry, I misread it. Yeah, they have. Actually, they're plus 115 to win the AL Central.
I mean, that's probably pretty good, right? Is there any other teams that are minus odds other
The
than
Dodgers
the Dodgers?
are minus 650.
And the Dodgers are just, I mean, they don't count because everyone would bet on them if they were anything.
Cubs
but
plus
that.
110 is the shortest odds.
Okay.
Seattle's actually plus 110 as well.
Okay, so I mean, they're similar to some of the other teams, but like,
I don't know, man. In what world does Kansas City win the AL Central? Like, in what
I think
world
Kansas
do the
City's
Tigers
the second
not?
best team. That's the big thing to me. Like, I think Kansas City will be good. I think Kansas City has a chance to be like a sneaky wild card team, but the other 3 teams are going to blow. Like it's them or Kansas City. So like you said, what world do they not win it? I don't
Injuries?
know. The offense sucks that bad, but like
Yeah, Colt Keith doesn't do Colt Keith gets worse basically. Kevin McGonigal never really figures it out.
Riley
And
Green
there's
strikes
injuries
out
with the
more.
pitching rotation.
That seems like a lot of things to go wrong. And then
Right.
that's not even like you said, that's not even involving the team's biggest strength, which is pitching. Like the offense could be average and they would still be pretty good
I
because
think the
of how
offense
good the
could
pitching is.
regress this season and they'd still be a pretty lights out team
I agree.
because of how good their pitching. Kyle. Troy Melton is not going to be a starter. We loved Troy Melton last year, although that's what we think. I actually think Jack Flaherty should come out of the bullpen. I'm bringing this.
I knew you were
going
to say that. Yeah, I mean that was your thing last year. That's fair. I mean I get it. It's not going to happen. So like
$20 million bullpen guy.
Right.
How about this though? How about this? Troy Melton is just like undeniably great in spring training. It's like this guy's unreal. He's got Verlander now taking him under his wing, and then you look at Flaherty. The velocity's down. Just doesn't really have that fastball anymore. Innings 1 and 2 last season, 3.19 ERA. Innings 3 and 4, 4.87 ERA. Innings 5 and 6, 6.98 ERA. He's just not a guy that I want out there for more than 3 innings. So why would he be in the starting rotation?
right.
I don't understand.
I mean, I get it. I think he was fine to end the year. Like he closed the year pretty strong. I think in the playoffs he was probably the Tigers' second best starter. So, like he's a guy that I still
as a year older.
as your 5th starter. Like, well, I think Jack Flaherty's a phenomenal 5th starter, and Troy Melton as your 5th starter has all the upside in the world. Like we were talking about Melton to potentially be the Tigers' number 2 coming into this season before all this stuff went down in the offseason. So it's a good problem to have, and that's why I'm so excited.
I think, and then I don't know, is Jackson Jobe just not coming back this season? Like then it starts to get really
There's
messy.
no rush. I also think that it seemed like from all there hasn't been a lot of offseason inklings about anything with the Tigers, but from the few that we've gotten with Jobe, it seems like he's recovering pretty fast from this. So if he does come back, it obviously won't be until like a July, August at the earliest. But still, like now
Yeah,
there's
he'll
not.
be in the rotation, right? There's no world where it's like, nah, we'll ease him back
Well,
in.
then
he's in the
he'll
pen.
come back in the minor leagues, and if things don't go well in the minors, then you never know. Like maybe they just wait until next year. A lot of these times Tommy John is more than a year. It just depending on the timing of it. Like if it doesn't make sense for him to come back for a month, if the team is contending, it's a lot of pressure. So it all depends on where the Tigers are at and when he's ready. But that's the good part with this. Like now they're not relying on. Imagine if we were sitting here in June and the Tigers were 3 games under 500 and the rotation stunk, and we're like, man, we need Jackson Jobe to come back to save our season. You know how much that would blow?
Yeah.
Like now they don't have that.
I don't know. I would put Flaherty in the pen and have Troy Melton be the other starter just because I think there's more upside there. But he was pretty good in that hybrid role last year where sometimes he'd start, but a lot of times he was just the long reliever. We'll see what they end up doing. 989-837-6125. Who's got the better chance to end the Detroit Pistons or the Detroit championship drought? The Pistons or the Tigers? That's when we come back. Show, as always, is brought to you by our friends over at Bresky Siding and Building Repair. Protect your home with Bresky Siding and Building Repair.